What's going on, everybody? I know you're here for the Andy versus Michael episode, and take it easy. We're going to get there in a second. First, we're going to talk a little bit about Spartan Forge, the app I have been talking about. So I'm going to fire it up on my phone right now. I think for the first time ever, I'm actually doing a screen recording. So, yep, zooming out here a little bit. Let's just zip over to the place that everybody needs to visit, which is, that's not it. Oh, yeah, right here. This is Black Rifle Coffee. This is where our food trucks are located right there. And I've been talking about this quite a bit. It's designed in the hunting space. They actually just added some waterfowl, but there's some amazing features that you can actually use, and you can go back and forth. So I'm looking at UAV footage. You can switch over to satellite footage. This one is actually historic. Yep, I can tell that because the construction isn't even done on the coffee shop. And again, I've been talking about this LiDAR. I forget exactly what it stands like, but you can tell if this screen grab actually comes through, recording comes through. You can look at the topography of where the actual coffee shop was. And then as you come over here, this is the western mountain ranges of Kalispell, where I live. This app is super legit. And I've been using it for hunting, for one thing. You can get all the traditional stuff, the property lines, property owners, all those things. And that's great. But you can also use it for a variety of other tasks, just actual navigation that has the Blue Force tracker. It has the geolocation zones, all of that stuff. And what I suggest is if you have a hunter in your life, consider getting that app as a gift. That's what I was thinking of. Christmas is right around the corner. Put something in their digital stocking, I guess, that they would highly appreciate and use. So check it out, spartanforge.ai, or download the app.
Okay, got the red smoke. North and south, west of the smoke, west of the smoke. Okay, copy, west of the smoke. I'm looking at danger close now. Come on with it, baby, give it to me, I need it. You're cleared hot. Copy, cleared hot.
Recording.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah.
I'm choosing violence today. All right.
I know you're spicy today.
It might be metaphorical. It's not going to be physical because that shit hurts, but finally, like kicking my cough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, what do you got? You got some good shit for today?
Man.
I'm going to fucking bend you over. Metaphorically.
Of course, metaphorically, of course. Yes. Okay. How about this? So, you remember when Trump held that rally at Madison Square Garden?
I know that he did.
It was a while ago.
Yeah.
MSNBC and a lot of the mainstream news outlets were saying, comparing it to a Nazi rally that was held at Madison Square Garden, like in the 30s.
There was a Nazi rally held at Madison Square Garden?
Yeah. And they just completely, they're like, oh, Trump held one there, therefore it's the same thing as a Nazi rally in Madison Square Garden.
I mean, I can only speak to the people that I interact with and my own, well, I'll start with myself, like my own personal feelings on watching two sides of the political aisle, both of which are very flawed.
Yeah.
What's it say?
Let's see.
With racist Madison Square Garden rally, Trump and his allies proved damage. So, and here's the thing. The second word there, right? Like, I get that the left doesn't align with the right, and the right doesn't align with the left. But how many racist people do you know in your life? Probably very few, if any.
Yeah,
right?
I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of anybody.
For clarity, most of the time they don't wear it on their fucking shirt sleeve.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I've known some very racist people in my life, and a lot of that had to do with their upbringing, not necessarily where they were from, but the culture that they were immersed in. But almost everybody that I know is not racist.
No.
And when you have massive organizations that say, if you don't agree with what we're saying, you are a racist, or you are a fascist, or that you only care about yourself and you hate everybody else, the average person, and I consider myself to be exceptionally average, if you keep bombarding me with that, I fucking turn you off. And it was, in my opinion, one of the reasons why the election ended the way that it did.
Yeah, that's why Trump won.
Average people are tired of being told, if I don't agree with the immigration policy, I am racist.
Yeah.
They're tired of saying, hey, or hearing that, you know, if I don't want my daughter to compete against men, you're transphobic. And you just, this narrative of this shotgun blast of just vitriol, people tune it out. And to me, that playbook, what is new in photos? What are you fucking doing?
I'm showing a photo that I saw. I airdropped it to here. This isn't being shown on the thing.
Okay. There's Julia at like the age of 8.
Okay, I don't know where it went.
Go to.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah. What do you got? Oh God, is this math?
No.
Okay. Democrats have shifted sharply leftwards on cultural issues in recent years, leaving the median voter behind. My dad talks about this.
Yeah.
The Democratic Party and the Republican Party, he doesn't recognize them anymore. In a lot of ways, they flip-flopped. But then there's this crazy extreme.
Yeah.
And people are unable to separate the norm from the extreme.
Yeah.
And to use the example you provided, MSNBC, what they're trying to do is paint the norm with the extreme, and that doesn't fucking work.
No.
It turns people off, and I think you can look at their ratings or
they're
viewership.
horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a trap door that got opened.
Yeah.
And what's wild is you would think they would do a post-mortem and look objectively of why that is happening, but instead all they're doing is looking externally, fucking racist, homophobic, blah, 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 blah.
They're just putting their head in the sand and not taking responsibility for...
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I thought this graph was really interesting.
Do you
Because
find graphs to be interesting, Michael?
I do find graphs to be interesting.
What are your favorite type of graphs?
Bar graphs.
Autographs? How often do you get asked for one at the coffee shop?
Never.
Did our newest employee ask you for one yet?
No.
Answer the question.
No. I feel like we shouldn't talk about that.
Why?
I don't know. It's private.
I mean, that's something you're going to have to deal with, not me. So I have no
Yeah,
problem.
I know. That's
I have no problem putting you in a bad position.
yeah. But yeah, I think
it's true.
Yeah, because now people who are in the middle are now according to the farthest left on the far right. It's like, no,
And here's what else.
way far left.
Here's another thing I'll say too, and I'm not an expert on politics. A lot of people are saying they don't understand why the Harris campaign lost. And they're saying, well, she didn't campaign on a lot of these social issues or immigration or gun control. And you can take that or leave that. What I would say is, if you don't take the effort to separate yourself from the things that you don't believe, then what's going to happen is people are going to think that you, by association, or support.
You'll just be grouped in with all the crazy.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I understand why she wouldn't necessarily want to take a hard line on a lot of that stuff, because there's this swift social backlash that honestly, I think as soon as you stop paying attention to that shit, it loses all of its power. But the problem is people pay attention to it heavily.
Yeah.
And so, okay, you chose not to necessarily campaign on those things, but you did not in any way separate yourself from them. And so you lost the average person because they assumed that you were in line with those things because you didn't, for lack of a better term, denounce them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it didn't help that it seemed like she was just plopped into place.
the fact that she actually wasn't voted on to be the presidential nominee?
Which I don't know the rules behind that. I don't know if she technically needed to win a primary or if she's the presumptive candidate because of Biden dropping out.
If they did it, I would assume that it fell in line with the rules. What I heard, and I have yet to be able to confirm this, but it makes sense to me, is essentially if they would have primaried and gone with somebody else, the Biden-Harris campaign, which was running for re-election, would have had to return all of the money that had been donated because she would have no longer been the candidate, and therefore people, you know what I mean? They were donating to a particular candidate or a selection of candidates with which then they were no longer going to have that choice, so they would have had to basically start over with fundraising.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure that's sure. That does actually make quite a bit of sense to me.
Yeah.
She got annihilated in the previous presidential election. She was the first person to drop out.
Yeah.
I believe that there are smart people in the Democratic Party. I believe that there are smart people that were probably involved in that conversation. They had to have known that and recognized that.
Well, even the media before her nomination was like, oh, even the left-leaning media was like, she's the worst or vice president in the history, blah, blah, blah. And then I
don't even know what the fuck the vice president does.
I don't know either. And then it flipped 180 to, oh my God, look how great Kamala Harris is. You're like, wait, but literally like 2 weeks ago, you were saying how horrible she is. That to me also set off alarm bells. I'm like, how is everybody just on board? Yeah.
And that's people say this all the time. Well, people are just too dumb, right? No, the average person is pretty fucking smart.
Yeah.
And they catch on to things like that. I'm like, why are you so 2 weeks ago? I mean, honestly, here's another great example of this. How many times have you heard democracy will end if Trump is reelected.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, what?
He's a fascist. He'll be the end of democracy. And again, love or hate Trump, vote however which way you want to. I don't give a fuck as long as you voted. And now where'd all that language go?
Right.
You know, and now people are working with him who, I mean, fuck, J.D. Vance, you know, called him some relatively colorful names as well and is now the vice president-elect.
Yeah.
People notice that shit, the back and forth.
Yeah.
If you keep shifting the goalposts on people, at some point they're going to pick up their shit and go play a different game.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
We're the news now, Michael, you and I.
We are. Yeah. Who said that recently?
Elon Musk says it about 87 times a day on Twitter.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm not on Twitter.
I'm going to keep saying Twitter because I can't figure it out.
Yeah, I think it's a stupid name, but, you know.
FK Twitter, formerly known.
Formerly known as FKA.
Slay, you know what I mean?
Very demure.
Very mindful. Okay. What else you got?
Let's go to the next question here. Side note, I like your picking up of millennial term, or not even, I guess, Gen Z terms.
Yep.
It's interesting.
You can thank my daughter.
Yeah. So California is introducing a EV tax credit.
Electric vehicle tax credit,
Yep.
okay.
Guess which manufacturer is exempt from that tax credit?
Tesla.
Yeah.
What was their reasoning behind that?
I'm opening the link right now. I'm not sure right off the top of my head. I would, if I had to guess.
Unprepared.
What's that?
You're going to ask me a question you came unprepared to discuss.
No, it's right here.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to guess, it's entirely personal.
Black Friday sale. Good God. Oh, we're not even going to be able to look at this. You did absolutely no preparation of any fucking kind. You know how I know that?
No.
Because you were never able to actually read this before.
It worked on my phone.
Well, then pull it up on your phone and read it to me.
Okay, fine. I guess it doesn't work on.
Well, because do you have a subscription?
No.
I was going to say you hopped over to my account on that one.
So Tesla will be excluded. Preparing to step in if Donald Trump fulfills his promise to axe the federal electric vehicle tax credit, but one notable EV maker could be left out. He would restart the state's rebate program for zero-emission vehicles. But Tesla vehicles could be excluded under the proposal's market share limitations.
So they have too much of a market share?
Apparently, but that's besides the point of encouraging people to buy EVs, right? In my opinion.
I mean, I care about the environment, obviously.
Yeah.
We are all going to be victims of negative or positive things happening in the environment. Mm-hmm. This EV mandate is absolutely losing the force for the trees.
Yeah. It doesn't even help.
I've done a good amount, specifically with the Change Agents show, talking with people about, you can take it back to the mining, right? Mm-hmm. We care about the environment and we care about people. Okay, let's talk about the cobalt.
Yeah.
That is used in the batteries for almost all of these EVs and where it comes from and the working conditions and the black market that's associated with that and the health impact that is associated with that. That's fucking ignored.
Yeah.
Also, let's talk about the power grid in California and whether or not it's able to actually sustain an EV mandate if it was to switch over. They are still having rolling blackouts constantly in the summer months because they can't have enough power for fucking air conditioning. Yeah.
But now let's charge everybody's cars in the evening.
I mean, I don't understand where it's going. And if people want to, also, what is your EV vehicle made out of? I bet you probably the number one ingredient in most of these EV vehicles is fucking petroleum.
Yeah, exactly.
The siding of the vehicle. I mean, let's look at everything that goes into an EV vehicle. You'd probably be shocked at how much petroleum products are actually in an EV vehicle, let alone the battery. Also, what do you do with the battery when it goes through its service life? Mm-hmm. Not that combustion vehicles are 100% recyclable either, and you could probably go anywhere in any town and see junkyards and all that shit associated. Yeah. But let's have an open and honest conversation about this.
Yeah. And also, depends on where you're getting electricity. If you're getting electricity from coal,
which almost everybody is.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter. You're using I mean, I don't know how exactly it equates, but you're still using fossil fuels to power your EV. It's just one extra step.
Correct. Yeah, like I said, we're losing the forest for the trees.
Yeah. And
how about you? Are you going to get a Tesla one day?
no, I mean, I think they're cool cars.
Have you ever been in one?
No.
But you think they're cool?
I mean, I've heard a lot of people be like, yeah, these are like accelerate really fast. They're very fast cars, very smooth riding. It seems like a cool car. I don't necessarily like it for the like EV environmental. I just think it's cool.
Have you seen the Cybertrucks around town?
Oh, I think those are hideous.
I have heard, I have no idea whether or not this is true, that one of Elon Musk's children drew like a design on a napkin, and essentially that is the design of the truck.
I mean...
The other story I've heard is it's the design of his belly.
What?
The internet's undefeated, and there's some wild memes on there.
That's if it's from his kids, that's kind of cool. Like,
is it though? Does everybody want to ride around in
No.
a design that was made by your child on a napkin with
oh
crayon?
no, absolutely not. Like, I would never buy one. One, they're ridiculously expensive for what they do, and two, they look like crap.
I also don't think the infrastructure up here in old Montana. Disclosure: we have the internet, we have electricity, we have running water. People, we're not in the fucking Stone
It's not
Age.
horse-drawn carriages.
No, you don't want to lose
Sometimes.
anything. Yeah, you don't want to lose your Cybertruck when you're fording the river. But
Or driving in the rain, which apparently it can't handle either.
I think the concept is cool.
Yeah, I do.
I
too.
think people selectively ignoring portions of the conversation to justify their either political leaning, ideological leaning, feelings about the environment. Like, can we just be fucking honest? Like, can we just actually have a conversation? How about not? There's nothing on earth that is going to be all good, and there's nothing on earth that's going to be all bad. So let's just agree upon that, and it's okay to actually support something while being open and honest and able to discuss any potential deficiencies it may have.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it just seems like virtue signaling. You know, you're just like, hey, I'm showing everybody that I care about the environment by buying this thing. When in reality,
Or you're super rich, I guess.
yeah, or that. But what I think is kind of humorous is all these people who say buy EV, a lot of them hate Elon Musk and Tesla. And it's like...
Is that how you say it? Is it a Z or an S?
Tesla?
Isn't it Tesla?
Tesla? I mean, yeah.
Where'd you get Tesla from?
just
I
kinda-
might be wrong. I just...
No. I mean, it's spelled with an S. I just blended it together.
Why?
I can't explain to you why I formed it that way. Tesla.
like
I
it.
feel like a lot of people say Tesla.
Is that your metric for why you do the things that you do? Because a lot of people do things?
No, I'm just saying it's not that different from the way other people do it.
Okay. You keep that in your back pocket and you use that when it's convenient for you.
Oh, I will.
Tesla. Use that for your Riz. Those two are not connected. I'm
Your
aware of
yacht
that.
Riz.
I don't know if I have Riz. I don't think my kids would want to answer that question because I think that's supposed to mean whether or not you have like a good pickup game.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
I
According
feel
to
like
Leah,
yours
you
is
probably
not
do.
good. I feel like yours is not good.
Okay.
On that note, did you get any emails from people when we released your email for dating support?
I don't know, like one or two maybe.
Okay. How were they?
Fine.
Dating scene still the same?
Oh yeah.
Going to be solo for Thanksgiving and Christmas?
Oh yeah.
You going to buy something for yourself?
Major Bader.
Sure. I mean, that's not what I was thinking. If that's what you have on your list, you can be your own Santa, I suppose, and fulfill your desires. Wear a fucking scuba mask in the closet and go to town with that if you want to. But
No, I think I'm gonna get a camera, like a real camera.
like, what kind?
I've been looking. I just want like a beginner one, like a Sony like R100 or whatever. Seems like a good beginner camera.
For video or still photography?
Still photography.
Yeah, it's tough because they make a lot of them that blend both of those.
Yeah.
And so therefore they're not great at
Right.
either.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
going to become a photographer?
I mean, technically, I guess yes. If I take photos, I would be a photographer.
Yeah, but you can do that with your iPhone. You could be a photographer.
Yeah, but I want to take better photos.
Okay.
Like when I was in Italy, like my photos on my iPhone are fine. but I was like, man, I kind of want better photos.
What version of the iPhone do you have?
I don't know. I think the
4?
What's the newest one? It's not the newest.
16.
One. 14 maybe. I think I have the 14.
Yeah, that's why they're subpar.
Yeah. Yeah. It only has 2 cameras on the back.
Pavo version.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to take your macro photos of the dogs that you were finding sleeping in the ruins?
Oh, how am I supposed to take my macro photos?
Yeah, you don't even know what I'm talking about.
No, I have no clue.
God, you are not ready to be a photographer.
Yeah, that's why I'm getting a beginner camera.
What do those cameras cost?
That one was like 400,
Okay.
which isn't that bad. Like some of them, my brother
Oh,
recommended
dude, you can
me.
go to town. You
Yeah,
can go
it's
into
they're
multiple,
crazy.
You can go into the single-digit thousands and then multiple-digit thousands.
It's
if you
kind of
want to.
insane. I'm like, no, I'm not ready for that quite yet.
What do you want to do with that? You want to do? Are you going to start like a photography Instagram pictures by Michael?
No, I just want to take pictures for myself, just so I have them as, I guess, better memories than what I can actually remember.
How often do you scroll through the photos on your phone?
Quite a bit, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you reminisce? Mm-hmm. About what?
I've been looking at my Italy photos a lot, and it's been like, no, that was cool.
Yeah, it would have been cooler if you'd actually talked to a fucking girl the entire time you were
Oh
there.
my God, I can't believe we're still on this.
I can't believe you went over to Italy for 2 weeks and did not talk to a single woman.
I can't believe you care.
I'm worried about you. You're going to be the fucking Unabomber 2.0, living in a shack somewhere, upset at the fucking world, like wearing, I would imagine, skin-tight leather clothing fucking all day long.
Yeah.
With like a karate bandana across your head and like swim goggles.
Swim goggles.
I don't know. That's what I'm worried about, how your life is going to end up.
That's not how my life's going to end up. And
You don't know that. I don't either.
yeah, so why are you postulating?
Because I want to make sure you know that's not what I want for you.
Oh, well,
I want
thank you.
Be better.
I'll keep that in mind as I'm
Be
wearing
better
my
than the fucking
skin-tight
Unabomber
leather.
2.0.
Anyways.
What do you guys got planned for Thanksgiving at your family?
We're
Are all the
doing-
shell tie coming together?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my brothers are coming up from Missoula.
Are they bringing their girlfriends?
Yes.
Are you going to be the only single dude there?
No. 2 brothers are single, 2 have girlfriends.
How old are the single ones?
Me and Kurt. Kurt is 18.
You can't say things like 2 of the brothers are single because that makes it sound like it's you and 2 other brothers.
Oh,
You're really trying to fluff the math on this?
No, that was just the easiest way to say it in my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the 2 in Missoula have
Okay, so
girlfriends,
half of the brothers have girlfriends.
Yeah, I actually don't know if they're bringing them. I spoke too soon.
Have you done? What do you get your brothers for Christmas?
It kind of depends. We do a lot of joke gifts.
Like dildos?
No, just things we would like, stupid things we would find funny between ourselves.
Like a sleeve of golf balls with no explanation?
Yeah, honestly, kind of. I got my brother John. You know how his hair is? It's like huge and like wavy.
I couldn't tell any of you guys apart if you were standing side
He's the one that spoke.
Okay.
Yeah, I got
While
him.
you were on Clash of Clans or whatever it was. This is
Pokemon.
exactly what you were doing the whole time your brother was talking. He's up there slaying, by the way.
Yeah,
Audience is engaged.
I heard
He's working the
everything.
fuck.
I
Sure, you
heard
did.
everything.
You heard that somebody was talking. You
No,
ignored
I
the fact it was your brother up there emceeing a wedding, engaging the audience, eye contact left and right, doing crowd work.
Yeah, you could take notes from him.
Yeah, I don't do that. If somebody asked me to do that at a wedding, I would say I have either a dental appointment or a tax appointment. No, not doing it.
Yeah.
You could have taken notes on your phone, but you were playing fucking either chess or Clash of Clans.
It was Pokemon. I already told you this. We've been through this.
Whatever.
Where were we even going? What was
I
this?
want to know what kind of gifts you get your brothers.
Oh, yeah. So I got John a like news anchor pomade because his hair is like wild and big and crazy. And then I also got him a book. Like that was actually a serious gift, but yeah. So we kind of just get each other like joke gifts.
Okay. What do you get your parents?
It's
tough, right?
It's tough. It is tough. My dad, anything Broncos themed, he's a huge Broncos fan.
Okay. Was he born and raised?
Yeah, he was
Colorado?
Yeah. Well, let's see. Yeah, born
Denver
in
specifically?
Not Denver, but they were close to Denver.
Okay.
Yeah. And then my mom it is tough for my mom. usually go something coffee related. She likes coffee. Mugs are usually a good, like handmade mugs, like the pottery mugs. Usually pretty good.
You know who makes amazing pottery mugs? I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
Missy.
Yes.
Yes.
Get some of hers.
Yeah,
she has a yurt.
Yeah. I know. I've been to her shop before.
Yurts
it's really
are dope.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. She can throw a pot. I think that's how you say that.
She can throw a pot. She throws a pot really well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Parents are tough.
What do you get your dad?
Fucking. I just tell him you're welcome, and he'll say for what, and I'm like, take a look. You're welcome.
You just go.
You're welcome for me.
Yeah.
What am I going to get him? Probably some fucking brochures on nursing homes. It is hilarious, right? So we do these episodes with my dad.
Yeah.
Which I love doing them, by the way, and they'll be great time
They're
capsules
amazing.
later on.
Yeah, they're so great.
But people send, you need to do merch with your dad. I'm like, don't feed the fucking lions, people. Don't
I think that would be great.
No, you know why it's not going to be fucking great?
Why?
Because he already walks into the coffee shop as it is and will like sit down in the leather sofas and be, Santa Claus needs a hot chocolate. He will just walk behind the bar and go downstairs and monopolize.
I've seen him do it before. Yeah.
Just completely monopolize the time of the managers that I am actually paying to do a job. that seems to be lost. If I get this dude merchandise, even though it would be dope to do a shirt with just the outline of his ridiculous beard.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, and the socks that he was wearing in the fucking Playboy photo shoot. That's all it is a beard and socks.
Yeah.
He would be insufferable. I would never be able, not that I can control or contain him now.
No, he does his own thing.
Yes. Do you know where he parks when he comes to the coffee shop?
In your spot?
Post office. Right across the street. And he'll stay there for hours, and he leaves the window down and his dog in the back seat. And his dog does not like it when people approach the car.
Yeah, Buster's crazy.
Buster is awesome. Did I ever tell you about Debbie and she waffle stomped some of Javi's shit? So
What? No.
Buster is my dad's dog. Javelin, a.k.a. Javi, who I am really trying to talk Leah into let me get a second dachshund.
Really?
A little boy. We'll call him Carl Gustav. So we'll have Javelin and Carl Gustav.
Yeah.
And so Javelin, he's a puppy. He's almost 8 months old.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Likes you very much.
He loves me.
I feel like his vision is not that great because, like yesterday, when he saw you on the counter, as soon as he recognized you,
He was like,
"Ee!"
yeah.
But from 10 feet away,
He was like, who the hell is that?
yeah. So I don't know. Maybe dachshunds are blind, or maybe it's just my own dog. But we're over at their house. Buster is huge. He's a black lab.
Oh, yeah.
And he is fucking terrified of Javelin. Probably because Javelin tries to hump his head.
Yeah.
If he's laying down, or his leg if he is standing.
Mm-hmm.
So usually Buster will go, and apparently Buster has PTSD for about 2 days after Javelin visits. He'll walk around corners and be like, like, where's that little guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Javelin disappears for a little bit and comes back out. And I'm thinking in my head, God, I hope he didn't shit anywhere. So we go home. I mean, I didn't go look to see if he had shit anywhere.
Yeah.
We go home, and I don't even think my dad called me. He told me this the next time. No, he called me and told me because he was laughing about it.
Yeah.
Debbie walked around the corner and just straight waffle stomped his shit. It like went in between her toes.
Oh, gross.
And he was telling me, I was like, that's awesome. And I heard Debbie say, what did he say? And my dad's laughing. He says, Andy thought it was awesome. She's just like, that son of a bitch. I mean, what else am I supposed to say?
Also, I don't know if I've ever heard Debbie swear.
I mean, that's not really swearing.
Not really.
I don't know if I've ever
Still
heard
funny.
her swear either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I tell my kids, I already tell my kids, don't get me anything for Christmas. I have everything that I could possibly want. Quite frankly, I have more than I mean, this episode will be, Leah doesn't listen to the podcast anymore anyway. We're going to have less in the house when she gets back from her trip to New York than we had when she left for her trip to New York. Without mysteriously. And nobody will notice and the house will run better. I don't need anything else. You know?
Yeah. I feel like you're just not that much of a gift person.
Me?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I can never think like if I'm like, I wonder if I should get Andy a gift. I'm like, I don't even know
What the fuck would you give me a gift for?
Exactly. Well, I just don't even know what I would get you either. Like,
well, what would the occasion be?
Christmas, birthday.
I would punch you right in the balls.
Exactly. That's why that's why I said I don't think you're much of a gift person, because I don't think you would. Not that you wouldn't appreciate it. I just think you'd be like, well, why did you give me this?
Yeah, save your money. You don't need to give me anything.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I'm the gift to you every day that we do things like this,
exactly.
right? So I'm just the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
All right. What else you got?
All right. Let's see here. Oh yeah, one of your children told me that you can't burp.
Yeah, I've never been able to burp. Let me guess, Julia?
No, it was Riley, actually.
Whatever. Yeah, I've never been able to burp.
That's strange.
Yeah, it sucks because your stomach gets super bloated and gassy.
Yeah, so it just goes out the other end then?
Yeah, or your body, I guess, naturally absorbs and processes it.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Do they know why?
Some people can't burp, dude.
It's just a thing.
Google it. Yeah, you're welcome. You're about to learn shit.
People who can't burp are said to have a condition called retrograde cricopharyngeal dysfunction. Let me put it up here.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. If you had it a little bit to the right-hand side and you let go and it grabbed it, all right. RCPD, also known as no burp syndrome, where a muscle in the throat called the cricopharyngeus muscle fails to relax,
so.
preventing the release of trapped air from the stomach, causing discomfort and bloating. Essentially, they're unable to belch normally. Yeah, cool. Go to show more. Let's see what it says. Social impact.
Social impact.
Whatever. While the exact cause is not fully understood, some treatments for RCPD may include muscle relax. What? Botox? Dude, where are they shooting that Botox ingestion?
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
Other therapies aimed at improving the function of whatever. Next.
Yeah, I just found
that's
that
the
very
heat you had to bring today. My ability to burp or not burp.
Yeah, I just thought it was weird.
Do you want to go down the list of things I think are weird about you? It starts with being in Italy for 2 weeks and not talking to a single fucking woman.
All right. Next question.
Rolling to Creed at the AK space wearing no t-shirt. Shirtless with Aaron Westfall. Like, that's weird.
Forgot my rash guard.
It's almost as if...
Didn't have a rash guard.
Here's a thought. It's almost as if you fulfill the orders for the podcast and there are rash guards there. Or you could have grabbed any of mine that were there and available. I realized that they would be...
just didn't think about it.
I realized they would be baggy on you because you're muscled like a fucking female.
Yeah.
But, it's fine. It would have been a layer of social and, biological protection for your training partners, which you obviously don't care about.
No, not at all.
Fair enough. What else you got?
Okay. Have you heard of El Salvador's gang cleanup?
No. Tell me more.
Really? So this guy gets elected, and he basically... let me share this to the Mac. I forgot his name, but he gets elected and basically has a huge crackdown on gang violence because El Salvador was one of the most dangerous countries in the world.
My God, go back up. Can we just deeply appreciate that man's sling is through the carrying handle of his rifle?
Oh, this guy here.
Yeah, so... underneath that, my God. Okay. Okay, bolts forward. I would have closed the dust cover up. Actually, it looks like it might, hard to say. Underneath that sling, okay, see the top part of that carrying handle?
Yeah.
Do you see how it's wider at the top?
Yep.
It's carved out or scooped out a little bit because that's where the fucking rear sight is.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to look through that rear sight to align it with the front sight. And my man has the fucking sling over his rear sight. If he shouldered that, there is a possibility that it would drop out of the way. There is also a huge possibility that it would completely block that. My other man up front has got his left hand on the fucking mag well, which is a complete and utter tactical asshole move. Like a rifle has the ability to extend your front arm farther out. So the radius of you structuring it against your body is enhanced. That's why it can be more accurate. And my man is fully Steven Seagaling it up against the mag well. Dude, the fourth guy back is doing exactly the same thing. Oh, my fucking God.
So
what were we talking about?
So too many soldiers. How Bukele's crackdown succeeded where others failed. So Nayib Bukele is the president.
Yeah.
And he was
So
able...
MS-13 is traditionally from there, all right? Mara Salvatrucha.
Mm-hmm. In March 22, the Bukele administration launched a historic crackdown implementing a state of emergency that has, for the past 20 months, given his government almost free reign in its war against gangs.
Yeah. Did he basically turn the military against the gangs?
I believe it was... I'm not sure if it was the military, but he basically armed the police.
Go down. Extreme legal measures. There you go. Rests on three fundamental pillars. The use of extreme legal measures, a looser interpretation of gang affiliation, and the concentration of political power around the Bukele administration. Okay, so the crackdown began with the enactment of a state of emergency. So they decided to make it a forefront issue. A legal measure designed for temporary use in response to catastrophic events. Okay, so by doing so, it gave them different legal options. No Salvadorian government has ever taken this route to deal with the gangs. Interesting. Some brutal gang massacres in 2022 left 87 people dead. Damn. Yeah. And because of that, legislators aligned. As of November 2023, the measure has been extended for 20 consecutive months. They're expected to be renewed in December. Roll down some more. Ooh. The emergency laws deprive Salvadorians of basic constitutional rights, including the right to legal defense and the freedom of movement, while loosening rules on making arrests and allowing the state to intercept civilian communications. Okay.
So, yeah, that's the drawback.
That is the drawback that they have chosen to use. I would like to believe that there are options in between. I am not familiar with the constitution of that country. But, okay, yeah, you don't have the right to legal defense, freedom of movement, and the government can intercept and monitor your comms. That's not awesome. That's essentially an authoritarian state if they want to. And I would say that those tools, is there a world that exists where they could be used altruistically and for good? Sure. Is there a world that exists where they could absolutely be weaponized? Yeah, for sure.
That's the thing. Like right now, it's good because they've gotten a ton of gang members off the streets. However, mixed in with that, there has been some innocent people.
They arrested 33,000 people in the first 2 months of the state of emergency. I was not aware that they had a prison infrastructure that would allow for that.
They built a new one. It's like a
in what time
prison.
period, though?
I don't know, but they built a huge prison.
Okay.
Yeah.
There were too many soldiers everywhere at once. One acting gang member said, okay, suspended constitutional defense. Oh, boy, detainees can be held indefinitely on vague charges. Not awesome traditionally. No need for an arrest warrant or evidence to back up the allegations. That's can be spicy.
Yep.
They lose a right to a court hearing within 72 hours of arrest. And lawyers and civil society organizations have said they cannot speak to those detained. Uncorroborated raw intelligence, rumors, and information, also known as rumor intelligence, sourced from social media profiles have formed the basis of arrest. Holy shit. Paradoxically, this is paradoxically the most troubling and the most effective aspect of this crackdown. Wow. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
I like the end state that they potentially have achieved, but I don't like how they did that.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like they could very easily keep this going.
They could keep it going, and the power or those in power could shift like the windsock. And if you have these established metrics and controls, who's to say it's the same thing I hear people saying about government overreach into privacy of United States citizens. I don't think most people realize that the Patriot Act, although it sounds patriotic and probably not accidental that they chose that, was likely the largest single invasion of privacy to American citizens. And most people will say this, well, I'm not a criminal, so why should I care? You're not a criminal under the guidelines and guise of what is currently accepted. And do some research onto these NSA server farms that are sniffing and collecting and warehousing everything that is online. So who knows what the future of our country is going to hold? A lot of people have said it ends on January 21st. Well, it remains to be seen.
We're still going so far.
Well, it's not January 21st yet. But who's to say that at some future time, there's not somebody in power who enacts something like this that is going retroactively and searching through your shit. And just because you thought you weren't a criminal before, or I didn't do anything wrong before, somebody gets to that place where you're on the other side of their ideology and now you're proper fucked.
Yeah, they changed the rules or added more rules that now all of a sudden you didn't do anything, but you're just under a different set of rules and now you're a criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's...
I don't like it.
Yeah, no, it's good they're getting gang members off the street, but the way they're doing it can just be so...
I'd say it's a very, very slippery slope.
Yes.
20 months is a long time to have that thing renewed.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they're going to do it again in December, so that would be 21 months.
Yeah.
I think people should be very cautious when they willingly surrender, which it doesn't sound like your average citizen in this instance was able to do that because it was a legislative action.
Right, yeah.
And I forget the exact quote, but people who are willing to sacrifice freedom for security are deserving of neither, essentially.
I think that was Ben Franklin.
Maybe.
But yeah, anyways, that was just a wild thing going on. It's still going on.
Yeah. There's a lot of wild things going on in the world right now, Michael.
Yeah. That's one of them.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed it is.
I mean, this has kind of been talked about a lot, but actually, I'm actually going to ask you this.
Why?
So there was a...
Don't tease me like that.
Well, I was just going to talk about Trump winning, but...
Tell me more.
It was... I wouldn't say it was a landslide, but it was very decisive.
It was certainly... I don't see how anybody who does polls for a living still has a job. Let's put it like that.
It happened in 2016, too.
It has consistently happened,
Yeah.
and I don't understand why. I mean, I guess I understand why people want to pay attention to the polls because instead of having to wait until election day,
Right.
you can get emotionally involved or invested or change your behavior. But at the end of the day, the polls don't fucking matter.
No.
The vote tally matters, which, by the way, California is still counting votes.
Which is insane.
Which is insane. So the polls were not accurate. I think the betting odds in Vegas were probably much more accurate. Mm-hmm. And probably because they have an inherent ability to lose a shit ton of money if they don't track it pretty closely.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was. I mean, it wasn't as decisive as Reagan's victory back in the 80s when literally one state
like Minnesota
was blue, but it was more decisive than a lot of people thought it was going to be. And it's interesting. I mean, I'm not hearing this. This is the gap between social media and real life. Mm-hmm. Social media, certain apps seem to be all about talking about, I can't believe this. And it's like, well, it's not a mandate because the margin of victory. And it's like, listen, guys, second place is fucking first loser.
Yeah.
So the margin of victory or defeat doesn't matter.
Yeah, really, yeah.
Focus on 2028 if you actually want to make a change. Talking about the fucking margin of defeat on something that has already happened and that you're not going to change the outcome on, just piss into the wind and get covered with it, I guess. Mm-hmm. And tell yourself you're being rained upon. But, I mean, I'm not talking with, other than this conversation, I'm not hearing day-to-day conversations with people worrying about that stuff, but it's an outlet. That's this bridge between the real world and the social media world. And the more that I look at interfacing on social media versus the lens of interfacing in real life, they're not the same.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference between the two. Mm-hmm. What social media app would you say you use the most?
Instagram.
What do you use it for? Other than looking at pictures, obviously.
I mean, occasionally, I do use it for like the messaging feature. I send memes to friends and stuff.
Same here.
A lot. Yeah. But I don't use it that often. Like I'll check it maybe once or twice a day. And like occasionally I'll go on like the explore page.
Yeah.
And you'll get stuck there for a little bit. But
what else? I mean, Facebook isn't even designed for your generation.
I don't use Facebook.
Twitter, you said sparingly.
Yeah, very, very little.
What about the Snappy Chat?
No, I got off Snapchat a long time ago.
TikTok?
Nope.
All right. You truly are an anomaly and an outlier. I think it's way healthier to interact with people in the real fucking world than it is online.
Yeah.
There's like vitriol and negativity, and I just don't see that spilling out into real life.
No.
Do we live in a slightly unique place, 60 miles from the Canadian border? Yeah, we do. Do we have people here with a variety of political and ideological beliefs? Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I just don't see it as being as contentious.
No. I mean, I know people that voted for Kamala, and I'm just like, I don't care. Like,
As long as you voted, I don't give a shit.
yeah,
I don't care.
I could care less, honestly. Like, but
That's one of the things I've seen online. Sawn online. There's an interesting version of seen and saw. One of the things I've sawn online is people, and I honestly think half the stuff people are posting, it doesn't happen. Oh, you wouldn't believe I had this conversation with somebody today, or not going to Thanksgiving, and I'm sure that's happening for some people. But my God, the virtue signaling. I've cut out anybody who voted for this, that. Like, what a fucking
ridiculous.
miserable way to live.
Yeah, it's frustrating because I truly don't care. Like, I don't care who you vote for. It's, to me, it's more of, if you're a good person.
Yep.
But it's
what's wild? Each side of the aisle, people on each side of the aisle will tell you, well, if you support the other person, it's not possible for you to be a good person.
Yeah, which is insane.
I agree.
I know tons of good people that voted both ways.
Same.
Yeah.
Truly don't care. Great neighbors. Different views on, I guess you could say, views from political spectrum, morals, I guess, in certain areas when you start talking about issues of abortion or maybe immigration, you could tie that in, I guess, a little bit to morality or personal beliefs. But at a moral level, they're going to help anybody who needs it. They're a good neighbor.
Exactly.
They're going to be the first person to put their hand out there to help. Again, it's the internet world versus the real world. If you support anything other than what I believe, you can't be a good person.
Yeah.
And my suggestion to that is maybe just go get fucked.
Yeah.
Take a giant step back and just fuck your own face. Have you ever tried that?
Nope, I haven't.
Yeah, flexibility is probably an issue for you.
I can't crunch down far enough.
Yeah. Get a cargo strap. I'll show you. Not that I've tried it, but I can help you out with the tools you might need.
Thanks. It's frustrating because there are some people that I don't feel comfortable talking about my political beliefs to, because they're immediately going to assume that I'm just a bad person because of my political beliefs. And I'm just like,
when I hear political conversations, it's my cue to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
People have asked me, so who'd you vote for? I voted for none of your fucking business.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't
really
matter.
doesn't.
Yeah.
But anyways. And then this, so they've since fixed this.
Okay.
But there was a period of time after the Donald Trump Joe Rogan interview.
Yeah, you couldn't find it.
You couldn't find it.
I'm sure it was purely accidental.
Purely accidental. Even if you searched, I did this myself. I searched.
I did too.
Joe Rogan, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan Experience.
And at the time, it had already had 25, 30 million views.
Wasn't on trending.
I think the data is resoundingly back, even with what Zuckerberg openly talked about in the letter. There is pressure from particular people.
Yeah.
Depending on the ideology and the direction that you lean. These social media platforms are owned by individuals. Sometimes they have a political slant. There's a 0% chance that was accidental, that it disappeared.
No.
And what they don't realize is that they draw more attention to it by doing that.
Yeah.
As opposed to just letting it be.
Yeah.
This is dangerous. We cannot let people hear this conversation. We don't want people to think that, Trump could be humanized in any way, so we got to take it down. And then really influential people start talking about the fact that it's disappeared. And now people that would have never known about it
are now searching
for it and hearing it. Like it's
the Streisand effect.
The Streisand effect.
That's what it's called.
Where does that come from?
There was an issue with Barbara Streisand. She was mad that people were there was like a YouTuber with like 13 subscribers talking about her house, and she openly,
what a weird YouTube video for a guy with 13.
Very weird. But after she was like, "Oh, I hate that this person's doing that," everybody went and watched
channel
that
blew
video.
up.
Yeah. So it's like, oh well, if you just didn't say anything,
it's like telling your kids, "Hey, whatever you do, don't go into that room because that's where all the Christmas presents are."
Yeah, exactly. What's going to happen?
A room that they probably walk by every single day, pay no attention to, but for whatever reason now you've made it this gravitational pull where they want to go check it out. Yeah. I don't know of an example in history where censorship netted anything positive, or it was done for an altruistic reason.
No, it's a really, really bad idea. And wouldn't you want to hear a 3-hour interview with a candidate?
I think so, yes, because, and here's my argument for it. One, in a 3-hour interview, you will not be able to stay on your pre-scripted talking points.
Yeah. a long
you
time.
are going to be challenged with even the direction that the conversation is going to take. You're going to be challenged with turns and twists that you didn't know was coming, which is kind of like the job, in my understanding, of sitting in that role of the president. Not every day is scripted. You're going to be challenged with things that you may not necessarily be prepared for. And I don't expect a president to be the smartest person in the room. The best leaders I've ever worked for made no attempt to be the smartest person in the room. They tried to staff the room with the smartest people and most capable people that they had access to. And then they would leverage them and lean on them and then make the decision as they saw fit because they were the senior person in the room. So I don't expect perfect answers, but you get to see people work their way through their thought process. I actually think, even if the Harris interview, I personally think she absolutely made a mistake by not going on Joe's podcast.
100% should have.
And I've read a few articles basically saying that it was the progressive people inside of her cabinet that were arguing against it because of the social optic, because apparently Joe is extremely, he's far fringe right.
Right, extremist.
Which people forget, he was staunchly on the left and has drifted more towards center, if not center right a little bit in the previous years.
On the left has drifted more left, like that graph.
Correct. Yeah, so maybe he just got left behind.
Yeah.
But, people have said, she would have fallen apart in 30 minutes. Okay, I actually want to see that. Not because I want to see somebody fall apart. I want to see you think.
Yeah.
I want to see you challenged with something, Joe talking to you about an alien butt plug. Which nobody is prepared to have that conversation. I want to see how you handle that. I want to see how you work your way through issues that you may not have mastery of, that thought process, because I think that's very reflective of a job that is defined by its unknowns. Yeah. She fucked up by not, in my opinion, which counts for nothing. She fucked up by not going on that show.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, just the reach you would have after doing that.
What was the other show she did go on? I think it had like a million views, and they paid, come to find out, they paid like $250,000 to the creator to build his set. And I think it might be in the low 7 digits. Meanwhile, Joe's episode with Trump was at 30 plus million in day one.
That's not what I meant to do.
That's all right. That's just my schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, what show was that?
Oh, man. No, it was put in their podcast, Kamala Harris podcast. Yeah. Yep, just put it right there. Call her daddy.
Oh, yeah. Horrible idea.
Put that shit on pause. All right, scroll down. This is just a clip from it, too.
Yeah, this isn't the whole thing.
But how many views does that clip have? 1 million subscribers. It's got about 1 million views.
Yeah.
I guess I could see why somebody would not want to do that, because maybe they don't want. Maybe it could be a challenging or an uncomfortable environment and you don't have control of it. But I think that's what the American voter wants to see.
Yeah,
they want to see the real person,
yeah,
not the person who knows the questions, who has editorial control, who can take a 60-minute interview, which they might have sat down with her for an hour and cranked it out into 12 or 14 minutes. Nobody wants to see that. They want to see what hit the editing room floor.
Yeah.
Who's the real person?
And that's why a podcast is helpful, because it's like, hey, here it is.
I think so.
This
it's
is
long
who
form,
it is.
for sure.
Yeah. I sent you this, but the teen that killed himself over that chatbot, the AI chatbot.
Dude.
Isn't that wild?
You sent me that a while ago.
Yeah. Oh, let me share.
Pull that article up.
Yeah. I'm going to airdrop it right now.
A teen was having was it a romantic relationship? Which I actually, for clarity, don't understand how you can have a romantic relationship with an AI chatbot.
Yeah. They were.
It was a Game of Thrones AI chatbot.
Yeah, Daenerys.
Which allegedly drove a woman's son to suicide. Yeah. Did the chatbot actually recommend that this kid take his life?
It didn't explicitly say kill yourself. What happened was, it was like the kid was giving it suicidal ideations and saying, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. It didn't say not to.
Okay.
First of all.
Did it provide him links to like suicide prevention hotline?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because it was quote unquote in character, right?
Oh God.
And so what ended the final sentence was, the boy said, what if I told you I could come home right now? And the chatbot was like, yes, please come home.
I mean, AI, that chatbot, right? That's probably just a large language model. It's not actually artificial intelligence. So the output is going to be informed by the input on that. And I'm not trying to remove any level of culpability or liability there. But who knows what that language model understood that prompt to be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the internet, all these things, they're just tools.
Oh, yeah.
And tools are only as effective as they are in the hands of the person that is wielding it. Mm-hmm. And, it'd be so easy to say to people, well, how could you let your son get that far down? And the mom should have done something about it. As a father of a 21-year-old now, a 19-year-old now, and a 16-year-old, good fucking luck.
Yeah.
Trying to, if they get one of these smartphones and then the world now has access to them and they can interface with these things, good luck trying to monitor and meter what it is that they're doing. I'm not saying it's impossible, and I'm not saying you shouldn't try. And I hear people say, well, they shouldn't get a smartphone then. Like, if they have a single friend that has a smartphone, they have a smartphone too.
Right, yeah.
And if it's a young man, he's Googling titties.
Oh, yeah.
Titties and ass coming straight up. Yeah. And I've heard it's not a horror story, but it's just the reality of, you hear from parents that they have the parental controls in there, and these kids figure out ways to open up submenus inside of safe apps that are then allowing them to access information. Dude, they figure it out.
Yeah.
Our fucking kids are smarter than us, and these devices, you don't even have to teach a child. I've watched this happen in real time. Put an iPad in front of a child. You don't have to show them how to use it. They figure it out in probably the course of a day, if not a few hours.
They're like, oh, this is what I pressed.
You're telling me they
YouTube.
can't get around their parental controls?
Yeah.
I'll use an example of from my own life with one of my sons.
50-50.
He got deep into playing video games, and he was living with us at the time, and I was doing everything I could to include explaining the risk and danger of spending so much time in that particular activity, that I was turning the router on and off through the app on my phone. Mm-hmm. And I could see any of the devices that were connected to the router, and I could boot them off.
Yeah.
And the fucking kid was online researching IP masking tools and figuring out ways to get around it, other than me ripping it out of the wall.
Right, yeah.
I couldn't stop it. And the point in that is, it's an escalating game of back and forth. Just let's remember, everyone who has kids, you were a kid once too, and let's not forget how mischievous and horrible we were to our parents at times. Guess what your kids are doing right now? Exactly the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Except for like you. I feel like you just read the Bible and sewed bow ties or some shit when you were growing up. What's the worst thing you did when you were growing up that your parents know of? Because they might listen to this.
I helped throw a party at a house that one of my friends was house sitting. And I lied to my parents about where I was that night.
Do they know this story yet?
Yeah, they know.
Alcohol involved?
Yeah.
Okay. That's it? That's the worst? You ever been in a cop car?
Oh, I'll tell you a story they don't know.
All right.
No, I haven't been in a cop car.
All right. Pussy.
I know. I was almost in a cop car. So I was, I don't know if I should actually tell this story.
You should. It's too late now. Carry on.
It's probably fine. I was at a friend's house. He happens to live close to a middle school.
Yep.
It was like a Saturday night or something. This particular middle school had escalating buildings all the way to the roof.
Okay.
So as a fun activity, you could scale the buildings potentially, hypothetically, and get onto the roof. Well, this particular time, there were two girls with us that were making a ton of noise. And eventually some Karen walking by called the cops, and they were like driving around the building, spotlighting, and we were hiding in this like overhang in the courtyard of the school. And like, I was just like, oh my God, please go away. Please, like, just, we were probably there for, I don't know, an hour and a half.
You're worried about your parents hearing that story?
No, not now.
Okay. Like ever? You were...
When I was that age, yes, I was worried about that.
How old were you?
16, 17 maybe.
All right. That's like a wild night?
Yeah.
Okay. God. Okay. I mean, I mean, let's just go back to the beginning of you telling the story and you saying, "Oh man, I don't know if this is going to be okay."
Well,
we're literally talking about climbing on a fucking roof.
Okay, the only reason I didn't know if it was going to be okay was just because of the trespassing, and I didn't want anything. But I don't think there is.
Let's play this out here. What part of the trespassing that occurred 9 years ago now are you worried that's going to come back to bite you in the ass?
I mean, nothing.
Did you do damage to the property?
No.
So again, the hesitation and trepidation comes from what?
I don't know.
Unbelievable. Where's your personal risk threshold? Are you into skydiving?
I would skydive.
Base jump?
If I knew what I was doing, I wouldn't just go and base jump.
Swim in shark-infested water?
No.
Swim across the Amazon River, potential crocodiles and alligators?
Depends on if I knew if they were.
You never know. That's the fucking risk portion.
Then no.
Take an entire month's paycheck and go to Vegas and gamble.
I wouldn't. I would take an entire month's paycheck and go somewhere, but I don't know if I would gamble it.
How is you going to make 1 month's paycheck into two?
How are you going to make $1 bajillion without gambling it?
That's not a real number, but you could maybe double or triple your efforts.
Or lose it in 10 minutes.
Yeah, they don't build those places in the winters.
No.
Just FYI.
Yeah.
All right. So you have some tolerance for risk there. All right.
Let's do more hypotheticals. I like these.
What do you want to do, man?
I don't know. It's up to you.
Just what ifs?
Yeah.
For clarity, you're supposed to bring the questions for this particular show. That's how this one works. It's how it's worked for the last 8 or 9, and you consistently fall short. But whatever.
Okay, fine, I have more. Oh, I thought this one was, so I saw a post. So you know how Trump went to like a McDonald's and worked and stuff.
Did he? We're going to call it work.
Well, he didn't actually.
It's called a photo op.
Photo op. Yeah. There was this post that was like, "Oh, this is obviously staged. Like, oh, there's no way he actually did a day's worth of work." I was like,
"No shit,
really? Oh, you think that they actually hired him on payroll and had him serve actual customers for 3 hours? Like, really?
No.
Yeah, no shit, dude. It's not."
What's your point in bringing this up?
It was just so ridiculous that some guy.
Yeah, we live in a ridiculous world, Michael.
I know. I just thought it was a hilarious thing to say.
Okay.
Sometimes you're no fun.
What do you want me to say? It happened. It clearly was a photo op.
Yeah.
People can potentially be up in arms about it. Like, what do you want me to say?
I don't know.
This is just weird insight into your Google history.
I didn't even Google that. It just showed up.
Okay. Based off your Google history, probably.
Probably. How about, what is your opinion on more socialized healthcare versus privatized insurance-based healthcare that we have now?
Are we talking about free healthcare for everybody versus a market where capitalism is involved?
Yes.
Our neighbors to the north, the top half of America up there in Canada, have socialized healthcare. I have heard pros and cons.
Yeah.
I have heard about quick treatment times and horrendously long treatment times.
Yeah.
You can Google their taxes and what it costs them to pay for it. I am not against the idea of healthcare for all. But our budget is so fucked. Here's what I'd like to see. Doge.
Yeah.
The government organization, not the coin, which is probably going through the roof just based off
off the name.
God. Yeah. Based on my limited interaction with the United States government through only military service, which is the only thing I can speak of, there is an excessive amount of bloated bureaucracy.
Yeah.
I do believe that we could probably find a way to take the Doge lens, if you will, and do so much better and find it at a place where, you know what? I bet you we could afford it.
Yeah.
I don't think it should bankrupt this country.
No.
But the option, we have Medicare, Medicaid right now. We have the Affordable Care Act, which for people who don't know that is Obamacare. There's a huge gap of people that don't realize those are one and the same.
Yeah.
And I'm not speaking positively or negatively about it, or whether or not it's efficient and efficacious, but we have those things. Could we do better? Yeah, I think we could. But before we add an additional burden, like let's start with trimming off some of the fat so we can reallocate that.
Yeah.
I do believe personally that the Doge idea is a good one. I think the execution of what they're saying they're going to do is going to be a lot harder than what they're saying.
Yeah,
January 21st, baby, we're going to renew. We're going to cut $2 trillion out of the budget. Like, you might have the plan to do that.
Yeah, good luck.
I don't know if that's going to happen on the 21st.
No, maybe the 21st of 2028.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because didn't he put July 4th, 2025 as the... No, 2026, because he wanted it to be the 250th anniversary of the country.
Oh, yeah.
So that's limited in their scope of currently right now. Of course, anything can change. Yeah. But if you limit it to a year, I don't know, but I also don't know or understand the mechanisms by with and through these swift, in air quotes, changes are going to be made. So I don't understand that mechanism well enough. But if it's only going to exist for 18 months, I'm curious.
Yeah.
Curious.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of back to the original, but I think it's if you get like cancer and you don't have the money to pay for it, I don't think we should be like, well, too bad.
I don't think they do that now. I'm not an expert on the healthcare system, but I believe that's what Medicare and Medicaid is about.
Yeah. I know let's see, secondhand accounts of people who, this one lady in particular has a form of cancer, and her insurance is just absolutely bending her over about it. Like,
welcome to the world of insurance. It's wild. Go ahead and wreck a car after having 2 decades of making your insurance premiums on time and try to milk the money back. The amount that you're trying to get back is way less than your premiums.
Yeah.
Let me know how your guys' experience has been dealing off, and then there's homeowners insurance or natural disasters or that stuff. Like, motherfucker, this is what we pay into every month. And
it's like, why am I paying for insurance at all?
Because they like the intake of money, not the output of money.
Well, yeah. I was being facetious in that question. Like, there's no, if they're just like not going to cover you for what you're paying them for, why are you paying in the first place?
Don't be facetious with me, all right? I like you to be completely and utterly
literal,
straightforward, like Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
100% literal.
I have seen that movie.
Of course you have, because it was made in the last 10 years. Did you go watch Powder last night?
No. I have never even heard of that movie or seen that.
It's an older one.
Yeah.
Have you watched the movie Heat? De Niro, Val Kilmer, bank robberies?
Nope.
Dude.
Have you seen the movie Hot Fuzz?
Yes.
Isn't it funny? I like that.
No.
One. Yeah, it is.
It's like, it's okay.
Okay. I think it's been a while since we've seen it because it's really funny.
Okay. We can agree to disagree. Maybe you're right. Maybe it just doesn't fall into the genre of things I like. I feel like, though, we reference movies often in shows, and I generally will ask you if you've seen it, and then you make no effort whatsoever to go and educate yourself or enrich yourself or culture yourself.
Yeah. I just forget. It's just like,
You got so much going on?
Yeah.
With fucking playing chess while you're doing security at the coffee shop?
Hell yeah. I'm getting really good.
I know. We can see you on the camera standing there playing chess.
Actually, I get pretty mad when I lose.
Are you playing people or?
Yeah, people.
Okay.
I don't get mad about like a whole lot of things, but for some reason when I lose at chess, I get pretty tilted.
Why?
I don't know. Like, literally, it's going to be about a 50-50 win-loss because you're...
Why get tilted, though, to use your vernacular?
That's also a new slang word, by the way.
I think I understand what it means.
Yeah. I genuinely... Because I honestly don't know. Like, a lot of the time it's because I have a really...
Like, jiu-jitsu is a lose proposition all the time for all of us.
Yes.
And you're fine with that.
Oh, yeah, I don't care about that.
But chess on your phone.
Yeah, which is weird. Like, that's the only thing I get mad about.
The only thing?
Well, I mean, there are other things, but...
What about ladies lying to you on dating apps? Sending you photos that are a little bit aged, if you will.
That may have happened once or twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not the only thing you get mad at. Let's not, like, again, I need you to be literal here. Not facetious, to use your words.
I don't so much get mad about that, the lying. I'm just like...
Why is it about the chess app that pisses you off?
I don't know. It gets me mad, though. Like, when I...
Do you need to see somebody about this?
No, I'm just
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
I'm not.
Like, say I have a really good position, and
Are we talking chess or jiu-jitsu?
chess.
Okay.
And either I make a move and completely miss something that my opponent can do.
Okay.
And then I'm just like, oh my, and I get mad at myself. I'm like, you dumbass. Like, I can't believe you just did that.
So like a lot of positive self-talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is stupid because I'm literally a beginner at chess. I'm going to make really stupid mistakes. So I shouldn't really get mad about that, but I do.
Does this keep you up at night?
No. Just in the moment.
How long does the moment last?
A couple minutes.
So in some moments at the coffee shop,
Yes,
tasked with doing security,
I am pissed. in some
inside, you're
moments.
just a ball of emotion
Yeah.
that you can't
And
control.
it like will affect the way I, not the way I interact with people, but my mood will go downhill drastically for about 5 minutes.
The
after
fuck
that.
is wrong with you?
I will just not want to talk to anybody.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's one of the only things that gets me that mad.
If your brothers beat you at stuff, does it make you mad?
If one of my brothers beat me at jiu-jitsu, that probably would make me a little.
Only one of your brothers does jiu-jitsu.
I know,
so
and he can't beat me, so I'm not.
it's almost like you started 5 years before him.
I know, crazy, and I'm
Yeah.
20 pounds heavier than him.
Size and strength don't matter.
No, not at all.
They're not real.
No, no, not really. I mean, actually, when we play, Super Smash Bros,
No.
the video game.
No.
it's a video game.
So you get pissed if you lose in games.
Yeah, I guess probably. Yeah.
Maybe I'll get you some counseling appointments for Christmas.
It's literally.
I'm just curious why it enrages you so much.
I don't know. Like, it's just this little thing where, like, just this one thing that just makes me mad.
All right.
Yeah.
How long have we been going?
1 hour, 10 minutes.
That's enough for a Friday episode. What do you want to close with? Final thoughts by the poor loser.
Yeah. Don't be a sore loser like me. I will like stall games after.
What does that mean?
It means just waiting and not making a move and making my time tick down so that they just have to wait there and do nothing.
Doesn't that also punish you?
Yeah.
Gives you less time?
Yeah, but oh yeah, no, I know I'm going to lose. And so I just don't play a move and make them wait instead of just resigning, because you can just resign.
That's really cuntish.
I know. That's why I do it.
Is that what you're aiming for? To
Yeah.
be a cunt?
Yeah.
Congratulations, I guess.
Thank you.
Yeah, or an order sometimes.
Yeah. Anyways, don't be a sore loser like me. That's my.
How about you don't be a sore loser?
In everything else but chess, I will not be a sore loser.
Okay. Great ending. Until next time.